Welcome back to the RC Pilot's Log. I'm Rob. I'm taking a short break from the Aero Tetris CASA C101 project because I need to save up for some new hardware and electronics. In the meantime, I want to learn some new skills, so I'm starting a new project. I was on YouTube recently and found a channel by a chap called Julius Padana who's producing some great foam models and producing plans for them. I've chosen his ATR-72 600, downloaded the plans, printed them out, and now I'm going to start constructing it. This is the first time I'll be working with Depron foam. I'm using 3mm foam rather than the 5mm called for in the plans because it's what I have lying around. The whole point of this build is low cost, so I'm going to buy as little as possible to get the thing in the air. At the moment I'm following along with Julius's build video, making a few tweaks along the way. This is the front bulkhead and nose gear support. The nose gear is built up with bicycle spokes bent and soldered together. Two wheel collets hold the shaft in place. I have no idea if it will hold up, but it's cheap. I found this Mitafix 2-part glue and it's fantastic on the 3mm plywood. This is a nice little assembly and I'm pleased with the accuracy I can get with my new bandsaw. I'll be putting it to good use on the C101 project. The nose templates are transferred onto the 3mm Depron and cut out. This is the main landing gear support structure. It's quite hefty, and again I'm really pleased with the finish. Julius's plans come with one-to-one schematics for the main gear. I followed these and also tried his method of thread and CA to bind them together. Again, I have no idea if it's going to hold up to any landing other than butter. Heating the foam with a hairdryer should help mould it into the fuselage shape, but with this 3mm foam it's not essential. After forming the fuse section, it's reinforced internally ready for the bulkhead. Next, the rear former is made. At this point, I should have made 2 more for the rear of the fuselage to keep them uniform. Hindsight is incredibly useful. The nose sections are bent and glued into place. The patterns aren't the most accurate I've used, and in future I'll opt for a method similar to the one Rami RC uses. This top section was way off, so I decided to throw it out and make a new piece later on. Having pondered the merits of this landing gear setup overnight and the overall project, I decided that I'd lose the gear and go with a hand launch and belly landing. It's a high wing bird, will be skinned in fiberglass and will be very light, even more so without the gear, so it makes sense to me. The nose is cut off and the gear structure is removed. I decided to use some blue styrofoam for the nose tip rather than build up layers of Depron. It's not to scale and it's maybe a little too pointy, but it's a nose nonetheless. I came up with a clever idea how to make the patch to complete the nose, and it worked well. The nose is going to need a lot of sanding and filler to get it smooth. The main section of the fuselage is made the same way as the front, ply formers front and rear with a Depron tube skin. Once trimmed and joined, the fuse looks quite good. There's a little discrepancy between the formers, which is why I should have made them all at the same time, but on the whole I'm pleased with my first project with this method. Once Julius releases part 2 of the plans, I can progress onto the tail and wings. Thanks for watching.